Okay, good morning everyone. It's One Dead. We are back in our map, and where we left off, this will be part 2 of the video, Introduction to Nile. So if you look at the object properties, let me cancel out of this. Okay, remember we had our armory placed. Okay. Click on Mission, Level Properties. You'll see My Map. I made it. Let's just keep it single player for now. Click OK. And then remember, terrain variables. Click on Mission, go to terrain variables. We're using the flat terrain. The environment is the full 0, 0. And then it fills in the preset things for the environment. You can change it later. I might get into something like that with a different tutorial, but let's just keep that for now. We have a nice clear day. We have one armory. We can look at our objects tab here. We have one armory. Now I did place another building. I'll get to this in a moment. But what I like to do, remember you can press your W key to go forward. Remember, hold your spacebar down and left click your mouse and you can move your camera view around in the 3D mode. Okay? So what I like to do is get pretty close to my objects when I'm using Nile. There's the building. I'll get to that in a moment. But remember, let's go up and click on the rotate tool here. You can rotate the armory whichever way you need to. We'll get into tiling later. I think I have a tutorial for Nile on that, but basically where you can get rid of the grass for this area, but we'll get into that later. When you click on your item, you can either click on it in the list or in the 3D view or even in the 2D view. Just make sure your arrow here is clicked on. Okay? When you click on it, you can press the Enter key near your number keypad on your keyboard, and you'll bring up the object properties, okay, up here. What I like to do is I like to work in absolute height mode, which means that everything will be pretty much even with the terrain, okay, and it gives you your Y height here. We can raise it up if you want to. 25, this is in meters. We can raise it up. There's 1 meter, 26. But it's going to be floating. So I like to work in absolute mode, so I usually bullet this. Okay. The problem with this, with absolute mode, it's very handy, but the problem is, this is what I'm going to get to. Remember I said in the last video, the flat terrain is not really flat. Here's one of those hills. Here's a problem you're going to run into if you're not careful with certain terrains that have hills. You put this large Indonesian, town building 1 in your map, and as you see, it's cut right through this terrain. I have it set up for absolute height. Now if I didn't, when I put it in, it would probably be teetering on top of this little hill, and then part of it would be exposed down here. You could see underneath it and stuff, and it just wouldn't look good. Anyway, this doesn't look good either. So if you go up to the top, click on the 4 arrow, this is the move key, and we can just drag it over carefully away from that hill. Let me fly up a little bit, we get a better view. And then we can just put it somewhere where we'll like it, where we might do something with it later. Okay, so here's our armory, there's the town building. Let me show you a quick list of what I'm going to cover here. Today's topics: saving your map. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Absolute height, I just covered that. Map item limitations. Now these are max numbers. Maybe somebody else, maybe I might be off. It's been a long time since I can remember this. I know it's 1,200. It's 1,200 decorations and foliage like trees and bushes. That's the max. I would not go to 1,200. Maybe 1150, 1190, but you're really pushing it then. The sound markers and spawn markers. And your area triggers and other other markers. I believe it's 756 for that. 255 people. Now this includes online players. I don't know why I have a bracket there. Let me just put a dash. So this includes your players in the map. So if you want to put a whole bunch of bad guys or something in your map, you put 250 bad guys, like say bots, you're only going to have 5 slots for online players. If 10 people want to join your server, then or in your map, then it can't happen. So keep that in mind. So then you have an additional, yeah, I've heard around 1,200 plus or minus, I wouldn't push it like this, which are objects such as the search and destroy crates, the 50 cal guns that are found under the objects tab, and then some other things. We'll get to that maybe in a later map, but I would not do that. I would not push it too much. You know, maybe a couple hundred or something at the most. And then your texture memory. It should really be kept, I've always heard that it should be kept under 50 megabytes. I'll show you how to check that in just a moment. But let's get back to the map for a second, okay? So here we are in the map. Let's save our map, okay? So we're saving the map file. Remember, mission, level properties, the name of our map is my map, okay? So you can invent your own or come up with your own, you know, killer deathmatch or something like that, but just for, keep it simple, my map, okay? Click on File, Save As, okay? Make sure you're in, now I'm in, I'm in the mod. See, it says Game and JOTAC or whatever, so I need to go back to Windows, Program x86, look for Novalogic. Here it is. Double click that, join operations, and then these will be all my maps here. Oh, okay, there's a file difference between NPZ, which means you can send those out, and supposedly nobody can edit those, but I've been able to open NPZ files, so I'm not sure why I was told those were not editable. But let's just save it as a Nile project for now. Okay, so and this part is very important, you cannot have spaces in your file name, your map name. Your saved map name. You cannot have spaces. You can have a dash or an underscore like I have, okay? And then just click Save, and you'll see it saving down here. Okay, it takes a little bit, and we're done. Okay, so now it's saved as my map. Save often, save often, save often. I can't say it enough. Okay. One more thing, down here in the lower right you'll see the object selected. If you double left click this, you'll have the object statistics, and this gives you the number of decorations, number of buildings, your total objects. This is what's important, texture memory. Try to keep this under about 60 meg. Your map will work good. If you're at 62, it'll probably be okay. 64, I think will be okay, but really you're pushing it after that. It's just the way the JoinOps engine works. Okay, let's see, what else? So remember to save your work often. If you put a couple of objects in and you're pleased with how it looks, go ahead and save. Okay, let's see, what else? Oh, okay, so if you have an item item highlighted in yellow, and you want to deselect it, you can, as long as you have the arrow tool clicked on, you can go in 3D mode or 2D mode and click off of it. But let's say you're sort of in a hurry. A keyboard shortcut, and I have this here down here at the bottom, okay? You can just click the letter U on your keyboard and it will unselect everything. Okay, so I'm going to press it now. You'll see it goes off. I'm going to click on the town and the armory. And let's say you're done with this area, you want to move on, you don't want to move it or anything, just press U. Now if you have a huge list of items here, maybe 1,000 items, and you have 30 items clicked on that you were rotating for some reason or something, when you press U it may take a second or two. On my computer it takes about a second or so to clear it all out. Let me check my time. Let's see, that's about 9 minutes, so this should be good. Again, you can go up to Object Palette. Let's bring up a tree, and we can drop a tree group in here. Okay, you can click on it, rotate it real quick, move key, move it into position, and then remember to save often. Okay, thanks a lot. Good luck. I'll put out another video soon. Bye-bye.